Hi everyone, welcome to Kahaniya College. Today's story is half empty or half full. Haven't we heard this a zillion times? What new insights could we possibly squeeze out of this tired old platitude? Let's find out.
Glass is a metaphor for life, and water is a metaphor for good things in life. Now, considering, right, that you are an optimist, you would see the glass as half full. But if you were a pessimist, you would see the glass as half empty. Now, this is a notion that is very widespread, and the social pressure is such that we all want to be seen as optimists. This holds true even for the most morose or the most saddest people that we'll come across. Everybody wants to be seen as an optimist. Now, let's look at from a different angle and change the paradigm upside down. What if seeing the glass is half empty makes you do better, whereas seeing the glass is half full makes you complacent in life? Isn't that something to ponder about? Now look at the case of overachievers in any field that we can come across. They perhaps started their life thinking that there was something miss in their life, right? The glass was not really full, and they had put in that effort, made that effort to fill up that glass, go that extra mile, and become the overachiever and the person that they are today. The contrary, if you look for the underachievers, they were pretty much happy with what they had, and they dawdle upon the things that they had, and complacency was a way of life. They would really not bother about changing or improving things that really need their attention. Now we can take an example of, let's say, a very skilled or talented person who's very good with a lot of things. They can work magic, but let's say they have never really worked upon their abilities to gel along well with people, to be kind, to be polite. As a result, they can't even talk to people properly. The mannerism is a big question mark. Now they might be very good at their field, but they cannot really become a people's person, or let's say if they are a sports person, they cannot really become a team player. So that is where this half empty and half full will give you a sense of what overachievers think and act like and what underachievers do. Now just imagine a container. A container, when if it was built, if it was all full, then it would have no utility at all. We need a container so that we can fill it up with something, right? And this emptiness does not really mean a complete void. In fact, it is something which is full of potential, where things can really shape up and things can really improve. Now look at the emptiness as blank pages in your life. This is where you can write your future, you can build your dreams, and you can achieve them. Not in the pages which are already filled, basically referring to the life that has already gone by. So this holds immense potential in terms of how you look at things and how things can change. Now, we also need to question this very assumption that we live with, that a glass is a half empty or half full. Why do we only have these two choices? And who made that rule? It can be neither, or it can be both, depending upon the situation. Now let's take example of children in our families. As they grow up, we keep telling them that you have grown up now, and this is expected of you, and you can't do this. Whereas at the same time, we also tell them that you're not big enough. Isn't that very, very common? The reason is that they are small and big at the same time. For different things, they have grown up, while for a lot of other things, they still need to grow up. So it is indeed right to say that the glass is half full and half empty. But at the same time, I'll tell you, glass can neither be half full nor half empty. You will wonder why. Let's look at it from a technical angle. No matter how careful or what precision tool we use, we can never fill the glass to half full, because it will always be some molecules on or off, that is basically over or under the halfway mark. It is also like asking the question about whether light is made up of waves or particles. Sometimes it makes sense to look at the waves, sometimes the particles, but actually light is made up of both. So that is how the reality is, that we need not really put things into one bucket. Sometimes it fits in one bucket, sometimes in another, and sometimes it makes to see it in both the buckets or neither. That's how life is, constant adjustment of internal factors with external factors, because life is dynamic. Life is constantly about change. Now let's say, even if you have your glass halfway through, or whatever amount of water is in there, it will keep evaporating. The molecules will keep evaporating into the air. The constant endeavor of life is to fill the glass with water, that is, fill it with good things. And things are never permanent, they keep changing. Therefore, what is good today might not last with you at all for a very long time. We have to make an effort to keep filling it up. We have to make an effort to improve upon things that we have in life, or as we progress, the different situations, the different challenges that we see, we need to scale up to them and elevate our lives. That is the prime focus. But more important than anything is to enjoy that water, to drink that water, to quench our thirst deeply and fully, because that is the very purpose of life, to live it up rather than to debate about it as half full or half empty.
This transformed perspective lets us take something ordinary and familiar and suddenly see in it all sorts of interesting new insights.